Hey Internet, it's me. Now today was another disappointment, honestly. This is the one, I think, of all of them that I was actually kind of the most excited for, and that was Alice in Murderland. Because I am just a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland. It's my favorite fairy tale, and anytime I see any adaptation of it, whether it's, a book, or a TV show, or a cartoon, a movie, a comic, a video game, whatever, I'm always a fan. So I was really psyched to watch this. And then I started watching it, and it went away pretty much instantly. To begin with, the first thing you see is based on true events, which I always hate in movies. It's a sure sign that the movie is going to suck when they have to try to glom onto that gimmick of, hey, no, our movie's real, take it seriously. Like, no, it's not. First of all, based on true events means nothing at all. Anything can be based on true events because you just take the events that happened and then just extrapolate all kinds of nonsense and put all kinds of exaggerations and add new characters and whatever else you want around it, but it was still based on that true event. So really, that's a nothing phrase, and I hate when I say that in movies. It just means the movie's gonna suck. And this is definitely one of those cases where the movie did suck. Because once you get past that screen, it starts doing an intro, and then very abruptly and suddenly it just jerks into the movie right from the intro. Like, no real transition. It's just you're doing intro, and then the music abruptly stops, and then movie. And it just gets worse from there. The big thing, really, is that the acting is awful. Every line here is just flat and delivered poorly. There is no enthusiasm. Nobody cares. It's a slog to watch, and I really tried. I sat through this thing the whole time, like, all right, maybe they'll get better. Maybe there's a good scene. Maybe something. Like, I really wanted it to be good. And then the part that threw me was, I don't even remember how long into the movie. It wasn't too long, toward the beginning. But there's these two girls who end up being Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And they're in bed. I don't think it's sexual. I think they're just in bed. But one of them has a nightmare and wakes up. And the other one is like, go to bed, stupid head. And she's like, hey, are you making fun of me? You are. You're being mean. And it's not only is it poorly acted, but the line itself is just so dumb and so badly written. Like, it's hard to take the movie seriously because no one delivers their lines in a convincing way, and even if they did, they're not convincing lines. None of it is how people would talk or act. None of it really comes across as believable. It's really bad, and honestly, it's really disappointing because, like I said, I wanted this to be a good movie. I love the theme of Alice in Wonderland. I think there's a lot of interesting characters there. I think it's a good base story to go from. So there's a lot of ways you could put a fun twist on that story to make a good movie, and especially a horror movie. Like, so many of those characters lead themselves well to horror because they're so just kind of twisted and dark to begin with. I mean, you have the famous quote, we're all a bit mad here. Like, a lot of those characters are kind of threatening, even in just like the cartoon or the family-friendly adaptations. So to make a horror movie out of them would be absolutely perfect. Just not this movie. And it's not just the acting. I don't want to just crap on the actors because everyone else did a bad job too. A lot of the shots are just weirdly lit and kind of look fuzzy or grainy, like, I don't know the best way to explain it, except if you've ever seen an indie movie before, like, there's a certain look that a lot of indie movies have, where it's just, I don't know. I don't know how best to describe it, or, like, how to really separate it from professional movies, but it looks amateur. And this very much had that going on the whole time. Everything in here just looked very amateur. And so I have to give, like, the camera and the lighting teams just as much crap as I gave the actors because they weren't doing their job well either. And it's just so disappointing. That's what I keep coming back to, is that I really wanted to like this. I went into it with some decent expectations, and it was crap. So if you're looking for a movie to watch, Alice in Murderland is not it. Oh, and that's another thing. During the intro at one point, when they show the title card, it doesn't say Alice in Murderland. It says The Alice in Wonderland Murders, which is weird because if you look on IMDb or if you Google it or look at the movie poster or the cover on the DVD or any of that, they all say Alice in Murderland. So, for all intents and purposes, that is the name of the movie, unless you watch the movie and then it's not the name of the movie. So, I don't even know. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, just another bad amateur indie disappointment. I was really hoping for a diamond in the rough with some of these indie movies, but my god, there is just a lot of crap this year. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So I will see you tomorrow.